In November of 2020, I posted a 14-minute YouTube video in which I roast a weird house. It was, when I first released it, one of my worst performing videos for quite a while. It seemed like it was just gonna end up being one of those videos that didn't get seen by that many people, and that's absolutely fine, you know? That is, until completely out of the blue, it was given a huge amount of extra exposure by an absolute legend. I'd never met this person, in fact, I didn't even know they existed before this, but the boost that they gave me almost doubled the video's view count in just a few days. And for that, I would genuinely like to thank the Reddit user who posted my video to r/videos. You did me an absolute solid. This kind of thing is genuinely really helpful. Anyway, today we're talking about reaction content. Chances are you probably know plenty of creators who react and respond to the work of other creators. And hell, that's something I do plenty. For anyone who doesn't know, I actually started out as a response YouTuber. Be it in a stream or in a fully edited video, I've reacted and responded to a lot of other people's videos in my time. Here's a clip from one of those videos so you can see the kind of thing I do. Dip your balls in Tabasco sauce. Now when I cover other people's work like this, there are a few kinds of etiquette that I feel it's important to stick to. Basically, don't take the piss. In a reaction video, the reactor should still be adding stuff and creating content of their own, otherwise what's the point of watching their reaction over the original video? The content that the reactor creates should be at least different enough from the original work that they have created something of their own. For example, take a look at this video from Soot House.
This is 10 uplifting stories. The video is a minute long. These stories are gonna move quick.
Matthew Santora's really fell off.
I love the idea of a minute long 10 uplifting stories, just like dogs good number 9.
For sale used baby shoes.
In their reaction to this weird little 10 uplifting stories video, they add their own jokes and commentary. Even if you'd already seen the video they were reacting to, you'd have plenty to gain from watching their reaction. It's a different piece of content now.
We go!
Oh,
Wasting time! Oh! What a story!
This is the story. This is what they're doing.
Great story, Mark. This is just fucking pictures of some random
Romeo and Juliet, the amphib. Do they kill themselves?
Soot House is exceptional, and the whole cast clearly all understand that reaction content is something that it requires effort to do properly. Now, their particular style is by no means the only way to do reaction content. It's a very diverse medium.
War Flail versus Katana, or Shinai in this case. I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to give you my first-hand reaction.
Here's some reaction content from Scalagrim, a YouTuber who creates content about swords and other medieval weapons. He often reacts to other people's content, using it as a springboard from which to add his own insight, opinions, and commentary.
He actually defended against it and caught the pole with his sword, but because it's a flail, it's like, yep, no you don't. Just whips right over top, knocks him in the head. This is one of the main dangers when facing a war flail.
This is another example of excellent reaction content. In terms of what he's actually doing with the content, he has basically nothing in common with Soot House. What these channels do have in common though is that it's clear you're getting something from watching their content that you wouldn't be getting if you just watched the original work.
This dude seems to be quite a bit taller than his opponent, so he already has the reach advantage.
The point is that in reacting you need to add something. If a reactor hasn't added anything and watching their reaction is basically just the same experience as watching whatever they're reacting to, then essentially they're just reposting something someone else made to their audience, reaping the rewards of someone else's work under the guise of reacting to it. Now, the wider YouTube community already went through all of this a few years ago. As a YouTube viewer, there's a good chance... Oh, fucking hell. As a YouTube viewer, there's a good chance that you remember Jinx. Peaking in popularity around 2015, Jinx made a big splash on YouTube with his reaction videos. With someone else's work always playing in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, Jinx's whole thing was to just sit there, pretty much entirely vacuously, hardly saying anything, sometimes soy-facing or laughing, as he plays the videos he's reacting to in full. Let's take a look at his reaction to the official compilation of the full Astaf movie series. This compilation is 14 minutes long and contains all 8 episodes of Astaf movie that were out back when it was released. The Astaf movie series represents a huge amount of work, spearheaded by the series creator Tomska, seen here with me at VidCon 2020. Here's a compilation I put together of everything that Jinx says over the course of his reaction to this compilation. Are you ready? Here we go.
What? Really? Wow. What? 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 What the fuck? What the fuck? Die. What the hell? Not the buns. What the hell is this? What the fuck? This is all he got. Oh, again.
Those 33 words that it took him 15 seconds to say, 27% of which were "what" were all he had to contribute as he let the video play for its full 14-minute duration. That's all he has to say, besides his outro where he sums up his thoughts on the video.
It's so funny because it's just like, the whole thing is just like, what?
And his intro, where he explains he's going to be watching the Astaf movie episodes 1 to 8 compilation.
I know a lot of people been requesting this one like back and forth, like they like do 1 through 8 like one at a time, but it's kind of hard to find each and every one of them. Like,
it's kind of hard to, I'm sorry, to quote you, what? Did you look? For the absolute rest of the time, he's just sitting there in silence, sometimes laughing or making a facial expression. And for this video, where Jinx just freeboots someone else's work, adding nothing, he gets 5 million views! I'm not salty. Now, what I'm not doing here is I am definitely not asking you to get mad on Tomscar's behalf. I don't actually know him, that's not how pictures work, but as far as I can tell, he has all the means to easily get this video taken down if that's what he wants.
As a large YouTuber, I have the ability to deal with copyright infringement directly. I can either take down people's re-uploads of my videos, or I can monetize those videos, basically meaning that, you know, it stays up on their channel, but I make money from ads. And 99.9% of the time, I don't take down other people's videos.
As far as I can tell, Tom is totally fine with this video existing, and that's completely valid of him. The thing is though, it would also be totally valid of Tomscar to turn around to Jinx and say, "What the fuck are you doing? Can you not just re-upload my work with your face in the corner, please?" It would be absolutely reasonable for any YouTuber to have that reaction. Enter Jack's Films. That's not an instruction. When Jinx rebooted one of Jack's videos in exactly the same way, Jack snapped back with a video satirizing Jinx's content. Jack's video ends with a series of pertinent, snappy, and to-the-point criticisms of what Jinx was doing.
I really like the part where you played my video in its entirety and then didn't really react to it, just kind of sat there. You added virtually no insight. Pretty brilliant how you played the entire video in your channel. It's like it's a one-stop shop. Why bother going to my channel to watch that video when you can just watch that and your reaction?
And obviously Jack is well within his rights to react this way because there's really no meaningful difference between what Jinx did and someone just downloading and then reposting one of Jack's videos. Just because some people are okay with this kind of thing doesn't mean you get to go around doing it to everyone. Your partner might be really into hard cactus play, but before you whip out your favorite Acanthosarius tetragonus, you're going to check. I chose this picture because it looked a bit like a willy. There's a very clear reason that Jinx attracted this kind of backlash with his content, but channels like Soot House didn't attract the same kind of backlash with theirs. If a part of your work relies on you uploading other people's content, then you better make sure that's not all you're doing, otherwise you're just re-uploading other people's content. It's fine to do that if you have permission, but it's not if you don't. So let's take this back to the golden rule. How, as a React content creator, do you avoid taking the piss? Well, I think that so long as you're clearly trying, it's fine. You don't have to knock it out of the park every time, so long as there's clearly a respect and understanding there that you are working with someone else's content, I think you're good. Hasan Piker is one of the most successful streamers on all of Twitch. His streams are on the long side, generally hitting the 8-hour mark. He's wildly successful, generating a huge amount of traffic and revenue, and when I found out that he'd reacted to the video where I just roast a weird house, I got pretty excited. I wasn't really familiar with any of Hasan's work, but I have really been enjoying a lot of this modern wave of reaction content. I knew that there are still some Jinxes around, but I also knew that Hasan is an accomplished creator who almost certainly knows better than to oh, he left. Okay, so it actually turns out that Hasan will just fairly regularly get up and leave while other people's videos are playing. This isn't what I'm here to prove in this video, this is just a fact. This is something he does.
You could make a compilation of me sitting around, not even on camera, with a fucking video playing in the background. You could, when you're live for 13 hours a fucking day, of course there's gonna be fucking dead space in between.
But it's not the leaving in and of itself that is the issue. The same issue would be present if he was just sat there not saying anything like Jinx was. The getting up and leaving for extended periods of time just goes to show that he doesn't give a shit about even pretending that he's contributing anything here. But even when he's in the room, he's no stranger to just streaming other people's content with his own face in the corner. Now, any content creator he does this to could be entirely okay with it, but I know from personal experience that he definitely doesn't bother to check. Now, this certainly isn't the only thing he does. Hell, it's not even the only kind of reaction content that he does, but it is something that he does pretty often, so let's talk about it. It's also very much not just him who does this. This particular style of content, other people's, is a growing trend with plenty of popular creators taking part in it. That's why I think this is so important to talk about. There are currently huge areas of the internet where precedent is being established and reinforced that it's apparently just absolutely fine to post other people's content so long as your face or chair is in the corner as you do it. Now, I don't want to be too quick to judge any of the creators that do that. All I want to do in this video is talk about what I do and don't think is okay and present my arguments as to why. And now, because Hasan is our primary example, let's take a look at the reaction he served up to some of my content. And while we're doing it, let's see how he compares to Jinx. 8800 Blue Lick Road is a 3-bedroom house that you can go on a 3D virtual tour of right now if you're interested in purchasing it. And it's, you know, they say you don't really know someone until you've held hands while taking a dump. This digital property viewing is one of those things where the longer you stare at the image, the more bizarre things you notice. So today I'm going to take you on a sightseeing tour of the oddities.
This is literally Steak HQ. Hold on, I'm gonna be back in 1 second.
Of 8800 Blue Lick Road. The first 3.5 minutes of my video were enjoyed mostly by Hasan's chair and his chat. Although apparently for the duration of this, Hasan was watching the video on his phone, so he can see everything that his chair is seeing. It's not until we're 4 minutes in, which just to be clear is about a third of the way through the video, that Hasan decides to add his first piece of commentary.
I feel like it's gotta be like it's gotta be, I don't know, like someone who has a disability or something, right?
I'm not sure what part of this messy, weird house has made Hasan conclude, yes, only a disabled could have caused this. That's what he sounds like, shut up. Or what kind of disability he could possibly mean. Like, I'm not even sure if he means mental or physical. What the fuck are you talking about? What's the disability that makes you go, I need to install a toilet next to my fucking toilet? Now, I'll give it to Hasan. This is a more fully formed thought than anything Jinx said while Tomscar's video was playing. It's also a more fully formed thought than me going, ugh! But he doesn't elaborate either. This is it. This is his commentary. If he'd began to elaborate on what it was he actually meant by that comment, he might have started approaching having something meaningful to add to my work. He'd also hopefully have made it clear that he didn't actually mean most of the things that it sounded like he could have meant by that. I also just really want to know what the fuck he meant. But so far, my video has played uninterrupted for nearly a third of its length, and all Hasan has contributed is going, it's probably a disabled person that did this, which technically is a sentence. He lets the video play for another 45 seconds before eventually adding his second comment.
I will never understand why there's 2 bathrooms side by side. I guess that's like the biggest flex you can do is when you have not 1, but 2 fucking side-by-side bathrooms, you know what I mean?
No, not really. So the house I was roasting actually does have 2 side-by-side bathrooms, but based on the fact that I haven't shown that yet in the video that he's reacting to, and the fact that what I did just show is 2 side-by-side toilets, my guess is that he's just forgotten the word toilet and is saying bathroom instead of toilet. And to be honest, no, I really don't know what he means by this. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a joke, a serious comment, or a mix of the two. Is he trying to say that a flex is normally something extravagant and unnecessary, and this is extravagant and unnecessary? I guess we'll go with, I think he technically has added something small here. I'm just not really sure what it was. He then lets the video play completely uninterrupted for another 2 minutes before eventually he makes a third comment.
So it's a house that used to belong to a church, but then the eBay resellers just like made it into their eBay house or something? Is that what it is?
He'd been receiving a few messages in chat telling him that this house used to be a church, and here his contribution to my video is to ask, hey, is that true? He then adds his fourth comment, which is about the fact that the house is full of loads of boxes.
Having that many boxes means they could be a streamer, to be honest.
Honestly, I really don't know what he means by this one either, but this is the first instance where I feel that I'm just missing the reference. Like, I think it's pretty clear that he's making some kind of joke here, I just don't get it. Now, I think by this point you probably understand the nature of Hasan's commentary. It's pretty much non-existent. In total, Hasan ended up not even spending 2 minutes talking as he let my 14-minute video play in full. He's very clearly leaning on my video to entertain his audience for him in this situation. This is the downtime he has no choice but to take because of his choice to stream for 13 hours a day. Jinx definitely did worse in the matter of actually adding something to the content, but neither of them have done well at all. Jinx, at the very least, did shout out the original video and put a link to it in his description. It's even right at the top of his description, so you don't have to click show more to see it.
Good stuff. Link to the original video is in the description if you just want to see some random shit.
I don't know why I'd want to click it, because you've already shown me literally all of it, but at least it's there. By reposting someone else's work, you remove it from its original context. A context which is controlled by the creator. For example, the latest Asked If movie compilation ends with a merch store shoutout and some links to some more of Tomscar's work. The description is filled with all kinds of links, including links to Tom's other social media and people that Tom wants to credit. And of course, this is a YouTube video, so there are loads of useful buttons under it by default, including a subscribe button, a like button, and a link to the creator's channel. Not only is there loads of really useful stuff here, there's also a dislike button. By reposting someone else's work, you completely change this context. On Jinx's re-upload, most of these links are unavoidably gone, replaced with links that benefit Jinx instead. So it is good of him that of the links he can control, he makes the first one a link to Tomscar's original video. It would be even better of him to not just repost other people's work without permission, but this is the next best thing. Now, again, I'm not asking you to get angry on Tomscar's behalf. I'm not asking you to get angry on my behalf either. I'm doing fine. I'm incredibly lucky to be able to work YouTube as my job. I just don't know if Hasan freebooting my work even impacted me negatively, and if it did, I don't know how severely. I just don't have access to that kind of information. But what I do know is that if by doing this Hasan had taken literally every future potential viewer from that video, and as a result it was literally never watched again ever, I would still be doing absolutely fine. I'm not trying to tell you some kind of sob story here about just how hard my life is. If in a shocking twist of character Hasan offered to financially compensate me for the video of mine he freebooted, I wouldn't take his money. However, when this kind of thing is done completely without permission and without knowing enough about the original creator, you run the risk of freebooting work from a creator who is struggling, where you could end up freebooting a video that represents months or even years of work on behalf of the creator. I once spent 6 months working all day, every day on one single YouTube video, and if Hasan had freebooted that, I would be very pissed off. I would be even more pissed off if I was a creator who genuinely was struggling, either financially or in just getting people to my channel to watch the videos that I make. And I would be more pissed off if when a reactor freebooted my content, they hadn't even taken the tiniest piece of minimal effort to just acknowledge the original creator in any way, completely taking the work that they just used to entertain their audience for granted, with no thought given to the fact that it was made by another person. Yeah, so this is what Hasan did. For the majority of the time, my name and the video's title aren't on screen. This information is only made visible when his setup requires it to be. He doesn't attempt to share any kind of link to any of my work in any way. He doesn't attempt to give me any credit or shout me out. I don't need him to do literally all of those things, but for him to make no attempt to do absolutely any of them when, without permission, he's freebooting the work of an independent creator he knows absolutely nothing about, yes, that is absolutely taking the fucking piss. And on top of that, okay, I know I said that he played my video in full, but I lied to you a little bit. He plays all of the content of the video, but then right at the end, when I just take 20 seconds to talk about other stuff I'm working on and where you can find it, well, he turns it off before I can say any of that stuff. Growth industry? That's everything I have for you today. This has just been a very small project on the side as I work on something much bigger. My full critique and breakdown of seasons 11 and 12.
I'm gonna add you into the call. Yeah, I mean, once again,
Wow, wow, good job he did that. This was becoming dangerously close to an interaction that would have benefited both of us instead of just him. Even Jinx knew to shout out the video he was reacting to. This is a crazy amount of just taking other people's work for granted. No consideration is given to the fact that the work here was done by someone else. Again, my point here isn't that I desperately want Hasan to shout me out. I don't need that, I don't want that, I am fine. The point is that this is his attitude when making reaction content, and he could end up doing this to anyone. The point of this video isn't like a petition to get me the recognition I deserve for my joke about how there are two toilets next to each other. The point of this video is to discuss a certain type of reaction content, the arguments that get used to justify it, and why all of those arguments are bullshit. But where am I gonna get examples of these arguments? Well, when I found out that Hasan had freebooted my content, similar to Jack's films, I went live to satirize him. Of 8,800 Blue Lick Road. If we start at the entrance, you're greeted by a Minions brand doormat that really no home is complete without. Sure, but I think we might have found the toilet soda culprit. Now, if we go across the hall from the man cave, we'll find ourselves in the second bathroom of the property. Now, that urinal in a residential bathroom is a strange decision.
So it's a house that used to belong to a church, but then the eBay resellers just like made it into their eBay house or something. Is that what it is?
Yeah. You think Donkey ripped you off as well? Yeah, Donkey covered the same house. The thing is, a few people have covered it, and I wasn't the first one to cover it. I was the first person to do it as a YouTube video, like a fully edited thing, as far as I know. But like a few Twitch streamers went and had a look at it and did live reactions to it, and that's how I found out about it. So maybe Donkey found out about it the same way that I did. Maybe he saw my video as well, but you know, he did his own spin on it. He didn't just play my video in full while saying very little, or just not being in the room. He made his own video. Like, just to be clear, you can react to my content on stream. I encourage that. Please go for it. But react. Do it in a transformative way, where it's reasonable for people to assume that the thing they're there for is you. And also make it clear where to find the video if people want to check it out. And like, you know, that's what I do whenever I cover someone else's content on stream. I make it clear where they can go and check, except today, fuck that. But I normally make it clear where they can go and check it out. I tell them to check it out if they liked it, unless it's like something that I'm criticizing like very strongly, in which case I don't really feel that that there would be any benefit to saying go and check this out, because it's like that would feel very artificial. I'm like, this is shit, go check it out. So then I don't say go check it out, but I still make it clear where to find it, or at least try to. Oh, by the way, that donkey video I'm talking about in this clip.
And this is an empty deck of cards. Where are they? Huh?
Yeah, Hasan has covered that video as well.
Here they are. This is where I play solitaire by the barbecue sauce pack.
He's absent for literally the entire runtime of that video, and I have no idea if Donkey would be okay with this. Like, I don't fucking know Donkey, man, but apparently they're friends, so hopefully? So after I finished my YouTube live stream, the comments started rolling in, which, you know, is what happens always. And at first I got exactly the kind of comments I would expect to.
Can't wait to see Hasan react to this reaction.
Lamau.
I really enjoy Hasan's stream and was watching during this. I also thoroughly enjoy your content. I was pretty disappointed he didn't shout you out.
Hasan isn't reacting. What is he even adding to the conversation? He wasn't even in a room for 4 minutes.
Jay has eaten too much cardboard for my liking.
You know, the normal stuff. But after some time had passed, eventually a cascade of new comments came in with a somewhat different tone to them.
Try more? What a baby.
Literally wouldn't even know who you are if it wasn't for Hasan streaming your video, but keep drama baiting, lol. What a baby.
What could possibly have happened?
I think they're mad because their Mac is like, you know, it's just the fucking video that I had up while I was cooking.
Hasan ended up spending like 30 minutes talking about all of this live on Twitch, and we will be taking a look at what he said, but what's way more interesting to me right now is the fact that as a result of this stream, loads of his fans appeared in my comments making arguments as to why they think this kind of reaction content is okay. This is why I find Hasan's reaction to my video to be the perfect example to discuss the wider issue. It comes ready packaged with countless examples of what people actually think about this kind of thing. So without further ado, I'll sit down, pour myself a nice refreshing glass of beans, and go over some of the arguments that are made in favor of this kind of reaction. And also, yes, I use YouTube in light mode. Feel free to boost my algorithm rating by leaving a comment complaining about it if you like. Anyway, on to the arguments.
I'm not the biggest Hasan fan, but I feel a lot of streamers just watch random videos to react to while they eat, so I don't feel like it's that bad that he does this.
Everyone's doing it, so it's okay. I think it's bad that everyone's doing this, but also this is literally just an appeal to popularity fallacy. Next.
I watch Hasan pretty frequently, and I honestly think it's because he was eating, Lamau. Content quality usually takes a nosedive for that half an hour. He's usually good about crediting channels and sharing his thoughts throughout.
A lot of the time he's leaving or eating because he literally streams for 10 plus hours a day and he's gotta do it sometime. And the chat needs to be entertained in the meantime. But I do agree it's annoying when he does this.
Lol, these comments. Why don't you guys start a Twitch and react your way? This whole leaving, eating, etc. is just a constant stream meme combined with actually satisfying certain human needs, like peeing and eating. Also, he streams like 8 hours a day. You can't expect him to clown around energetically for every minute of those 8 hours. He literally leaves to cook for himself. Good for fucking him. Pause the video then. That video was literally randomly linked by someone in chat. Taken out of context, you guys make him sound like Hitler. You guys are too judgmental. Soul left my body reading that.
Man, I remember history class in middle school learning about how people were always critical of Hitler's Twitch streams. You know, that's the main complaint people had at the time about Hitler.
3 rules of being a streamer. 1. React harder. 2. Don't pause too much to react. It disrupts the content. 3. Don't cook or eat food. You are a content slave and not allowed to leave frame for more than 30 seconds on an 8 to 12 hour stream. Nodders.
The idea that streamers need to do this because they've gotta eat comes up semi-regularly. Hasan himself has even made similar arguments on multiple occasions. And of course there is truth to this. It is absolutely reasonable for any streamer who's live for 13 hours a day to have periods of low energy, to eat and to piss and shit everywhere. We all need downtime, and to expect someone to not have any is completely unreasonable. Therefore, I need to just play other people's videos. I have no other choice. Don't cook or eat food. You are a content slave and not allowed to leave frame for more than 30 seconds on an 8 to 12 hour stream. 28. What the fuck are you talking about, you muppet? You lemon? You cabbage? You fucking rhombus? This person has seen me say it's bad to just stream other people's content in full without sufficient commentary or sufficient credit, and is so absorbed into Twitch culture that they can't conceive of another way to eat. Speaking as someone who streams semi-regularly and has been known to stream for longer than 12 hours in one go, there are plenty of other ways to take downtime, which isn't something I should have to explain to anyone. If you're a streamer and you reach a point in your stream where you feel that for whatever reason you're unable to fully entertain your audience by yourself, here are a few things you can try. Bring on a guest who can do most of the talking while you're away.
This highway code applies to England, Scotland and Wales. The highway code is essential reading for everyone.
Play something made by a creator who you know is happy for their content to be used in this way. Play your own streams or content. Just fucking end the stream, holy shit. And if all of these things and any other alternative all seem like they're too much effort, then sucks to be you. Take some pride in your work. Holy shit. You don't get to just take something someone else made.
Just tell him not to react to your videos. Other streamers like Matt Orchard and JCS are saying that they love the boost in views they're getting from Hasan's reacts. It's not clear that Jay would be opposed to it. If he didn't say enough in this video, then fair enough. Not everyone does their best all the time.
How about just telling him not to do that instead of pulling this cringe shit?
The sentiment that I have no right to complain because I could just ask Hasan not to do this again in future is another seemingly pretty common one, but there are a few problems with it that I would like to get into. First and foremost, I have no idea how to contact Hasan. I couldn't find an email address listed for him, his DMs are closed on every social media of his that I checked, and I guess I could have tried atting him on Twitter, but he has 1 million Twitter followers and gets atted like every couple of minutes. So, I mean, he might see it, and maybe there is a way I could easily contact him, but for all the looking I did, I couldn't find one. So if he really does run on a model of I will just repost your content and if you don't like it, you have to reach out to me to tell me to stop, which, like, yeah, he does, then there being no way clear from the outside looking in to get in touch with him is kind of a problem with that. And that's just problem one. It might, although probably hasn't, occurred to you to wonder how I even found out about this in the first place. Did Hasan send me a message letting me know he'd reacted to my video? Or maybe he left a YouTube comment telling me he'd done it. Or maybe my comment section filled up with his fans, all telling me that he'd sent them. No, I actually found out because by sheer coincidence, on the day that he did it, I just randomly out of the blue started to wonder, oh, how's that old video I made that one time about that weird house doing? And went into my analytics to check. And it's only because on a whim I made that decision that I happened to see what I already recognized as the distinct spike of someone live reacting to my video. 200 extra views to a full-time YouTuber is an entirely negligible amount, but a spike of that amount all at the same time and all on a video that's averaging about 50 views an hour is very clearly a sign of something, so I took to Twitter to ask if anyone knew what had happened, and it's only after all that someone told me Hasan had reacted to the video. So maybe reaching out to Hasan is something that I could have tried on that occasion, but streamers operating under the assumption that if a creator doesn't like their work being reposted, they can just get in touch doesn't work if 9 times out of 10 the creators have no idea it's even happening. I found out about this stream because of a frankly very unlikely coincidence, but I almost certainly don't know about the majority of times that my videos have been reacted to on Twitch. Why would I know? And yeah, on this occasion I did know. I could have tried getting in touch with Hasan by @ing him on Twitter, I guess, but as a more general rule, I don't think that it should be the job of creators to keep an eye on every Twitch streamer to make sure they're not reposting their content. It's not that I don't want this to happen again, it's that I don't think this should have happened in the first place. I'm not a big fan of the precedent of reactors seeming to think they can freeboot anyone's work they want to, and if the creator doesn't like it, then it's their responsibility to find out and get in touch.
You're not allowed to watch any YouTube videos unless you react the exact way the creator wants you to. The rules of the internet.
You are a fucking rhombus. Reactors can use other people's content as a springboard to create whatever kind of content they want to. From Soothouse to Scalagrim, I am a supporter of the reaction content genre. I make reaction content and I don't feel the need to ask the permission of the original creators first because I am always careful to make sure I am adding something and not just freebooting their work. The reaction that this person is defending with "you're just mad they didn't react in exactly the way you want" is this. And if we look by the kitchen sink, you'll notice toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, and other toiletry supplies, despite the house having multiple bathrooms. This feels like the kind of choice that would only be made by someone who has truly ascended to a higher plane of thought. Maybe they only feel comfortable cleaning their teeth if they're accompanied by this dense foliage from the living room. Now, if your front kitchen has these 2 completely freestanding cabinets in the middle of the room, you'll get to the master bedroom, but the house still has some surprises in store. We've got a very important shelf. And this isn't just one isolated comment. A depressing number of people seem to not even understand that there's a distinction between reaction content that adds to or transforms the original work, and reaction content that just lets the original work play for several minutes at a time while the reactor eats. They just don't get it. It's all just reaction content to them.
Jay's entire content? No, that's not what it says.
That's all.
Jay's entire channel revolves around him making content that only reacts to other people's content or analyzes it. There's no difference between what Jay is doing here and what he's complaining about Hasan doing. Jay is pathetically drama baiting over something that in essence would require him to delete 90% of his channel's videos if he was serious about not using other people's content.
When Hasan leaves, he's making... I know, let's do this one in a Scottish accent. When Hasan leaves, When Hasan leaves, he's making food in his kitchen that's right next to his desk, so he can come back whenever. Good for him. Also, you use footage from shows that people put more time into as background footage, and yes, it's fair use, but if you're gonna criticize someone for reacting, then I will criticize your use of footage that isn't technically yours. So yeah, a lot of the content on my channel is reviews of movies or shows, and I use footage of those movies and shows to show what I'm talking about. Although I don't really feel that I need to explain the kind of thing that I do because you've been watching it for 30 minutes. And it's distinctly different from just letting someone else's content play as you cook, eat, and occasionally make vague or vacuous comments. If someone genuinely can't tell what the difference is here, I struggle to understand how I could even begin to explain it to them. It's like if an adult came up to me and asked, "Hey, what's the difference between, like, a seagull and jealousy?" I would not know what part of that they were struggling with. The icing on the cake for all of this is that when all of these people scroll down to the comments section, my pinned comment was right there, explicitly stating that I'm fine with actual reaction content, and I just don't want my video used as filler. And then the cherry on the icing on the cake is this person's bizarre claims.
You seem to have worked really hard to create this content. It's super scummy when someone just takes something and essentially copies the video without any substantial differences or changes. Looks like these guys copied your content too. I hate it when people just use other creators' content. Oh wait, that video was made 2 whole months before yours. Seems like you just might be milking this for content.
This comment is wild to me. That YouTube link takes you to the archive of a Yogscast stream where they look at the same house I looked at in my video.
I'm impressed that whoever filmed this went and actually was willing to go into these rooms.
Yeah. They're reacting to the same stuff, but in it they make different jokes and say different things. This person can't even tell the difference between a non-transformative reaction and 2 people making videos about the same thing. Well, I mean, actually it was a lot more than 2. The house was kind of a meme, so...
Lol, just react harder?
Hey, Jay! React harder!
My man said react harder.
React harder is a Twitch meme that's often used to try and satirize people who are critical of non-transformative Twitch reactions. The sentiment behind it is that if a reaction streamer doesn't find the content they're watching particularly engaging, they're not going to have a particularly strong reaction. If you're there for their genuine reaction to the content they're watching, and their reaction really is very minimal, then surely by asking them to change that reaction, you're asking them to be fake. You can't control your emotions. It's not their fault if they didn't have an emotional response to the thing they're watching. As this commenter sums it up, if your problem is react harder, then my reply is create harder, and maybe you'd get those better reactions. The entire wall on this side of the room is designed to slide out so that you can, if you want, merge this room with the room next to it. So if you live here, you can finally achieve your dreams of a bedroom-kitchen combo. Finally, now I can sleep in a room that has 2 separate microwaves in it. You know, the having 2 of something completely unnecessarily is becoming a running theme. You know who reacted hard? Jinx.
It says gullible on the ceiling.
Oh, so you stole my lungs.
In his videos, Jinx was always laughing and smiling and soy-facing. He very clearly demonstrated a strong emotional response to the content he was reacting to, and people seem to forget this. All the same problems that apply to these modern Twitch streamers also apply to Jinx's content. If Hasan had been grinning from ear to ear for the entirety of his reaction to my video, that wouldn't have fixed the issue. Summing up the criticism as react harder does make it sound unreasonable, because saying react harder would be unreasonable. But summing it up as contribute something would be a lot more accurate.
My man said,
contribute something, man. Make your reaction stream a meaningfully different experience to watching the original video. It's not just a matter of react harder.
Hasan's stream is great. Watch it every day. Seem awfully sour over here, lol. Enjoy the signal boost he gave you, Lamau.
Literally wouldn't know who you are if it wasn't for Hasan streaming your video, but keep drama baiting, lol. What a baby.
Imagine being such a fragile little person that you're mad someone looked at your video and brought attention to your channel, but doesn't react harder or the way you wanted. Sad.
The idea that I should just shut up and be thankful for the free clout is another pretty common one, and to that my immediate thought is that you are grossly overestimating the amount of clout this kind of thing provides. Somewhere between 150 and 180 of Hasan's fans came to watch my video following his stream, which on average translates to a grand total of about 40 cents and 7 subscribers. So thanks, I guess? Now, I'm sure that mileage will vary from different streamers reacting to different videos. Some reactions will provide more, and some reactions will provide less. As a streamer, it's possible you'll provide someone clout by doing this, but you certainly can't base your behavior on the assumption that that's definitely what will happen, which is what Hasan does.
People ask like, well, what's up? Like, aren't you taking views away? No, most YouTubers don't mind that, actually love that shit when Twitch streamers react to their videos, because they get a fucking fat bump.
On the topic of taking views away though, it's unclear that if by doing this, streamers take away potential viewers from the videos they're reacting to. It's entirely possible that some of the 40,000 live viewers of that stream would have ended up watching the video, but now they've already seen it, won't bother. This isn't the kind of thing that YouTube analytics can tell us, so we just don't know. It is also interesting that everyone seems to be overestimating the amount of clout that this kind of thing provides.
No sir, I don't want the free clout.
It's not free clout if he doesn't say whose video it is. What the fuck?
Had the channel name and name of the video up the entire time.
No he didn't. But also, yeah, you are allowed to say no to this kind of thing. That's allowed. I imagine that if PewDiePie, being the largest individual creator on YouTube, downloaded and then just re-uploaded one of my videos to his channel, that'd probably get me some clout. I imagine that if Will Smith broke into my apartment and started filming me for his next movie, that'd get get me some free clout as well, which is not equivalent, just to be clear. And you know what? I would happily let Will Smith into my apartment to film me for a movie, but the key with all of these things is permission. You can't just go around imposing this kind of give and take exchange on people without knowing whether or not they'd agree to it, especially when what you're giving is 40 cents. So those are the arguments in favor of this kind of thing, and I've got to say, I wasn't particularly impressed. While I'm here, I would like to thank Metal Commander, Cynical CJ, Blair TV, Nicholas Diorio, and the Virtual Celebrity for reading out the comments in that last section, and I would like to let you know that the file the Virtual Celebrity sent me started like this.
I sincerely apologize if you can hear chickens in the background. Sat down to record, they were clucking up a storm, went out to chase them away, threw rocks at them, well not at them, near them, tiny pebbles. They thought the rocks were food.
Yeah, you can hear chickens in the background of the clips that she sent me. She also, later, of her own free will, decided to send me a second version without chickens in the background, but I elected to use the chicken one. I'm a bad person. Hopefully, after all of that, I've done my part to put a dent in the attitude that Twitch streamers can just play other people's content in full without permission without transforming it in any way. I've seen a lot of streamers taking other people's content for granted like this, and honestly, it's just not cool. But this video is not a personal attack directed towards any streamer who's ever done this. I just want to encourage those streamers to hopefully, well, first things first, give proper credit, especially if your justification for doing what you're doing is that you paid the content creators through exposure by giving them a fat bump. Ultimately though, there is of course no one correct way to do reaction content. It's just a matter of mutual respect between creator and reactor and not taking anyone else's work for granted. Now let's take a look at what Hasan said about all this in response to my stream.
The YouTuber who made the video about the Strange House not Donkey is mad at you, reacting to Hasan Piker's original content that he worked really hard on and made all by himself. Why? Because I was cooking while that was happening? Is that why? Hasan, if you see this, I'm happy for you to react to my videos if proper credit is given. However, please don't just let them play as filler, sitting there saying very little and just having lunch, or leaving them in the room like, come on man, I'm fine with react content, it just requires a substance or significant reaction and proper credit. Okay, fair.
Oh, okay, he's taking it really well.
That's totally fine. He makes the most sense.
Well, that's nice to see, isn't it?
I mean, I understand.
Sweet, dude.
My man said react harder.
Oh. So I have like 30 minutes of Hasan's response to work with in my editing room here. If I was the kind of shady fuck to choose the clips I play with maximum bias, I could make Hasan look like a wonderful saint.
I personally don't care. But if others do, then dude, absolutely, I will respect that 1000%.
Or I could make him look like the biggest gaping asshole who ever lived.
Just such a fucking dingus, dude. Just show their channel name, dumbass. How is that so fucking hard? Like, what is this attitude that you have? You stupid fuck.
Man, how are both those clips from the same stream? Well, all will be explained, and I feel that I need to start that explanation by giving credit where credit is due. You know, because giving credit is important. As soon as he found out that I didn't really appreciate his non-transformative reaction stream where he played my content, he apologized and made it clear that he wouldn't play any of my videos on his streams again.
They have every right to be like, yeah, fuck off, dude. What the fuck are you watching my video? I will never watch their stuff ever again, for the record, if they're upset about it. If you don't want me watching your stuff, I will gladly never watch it. I'm really sorry. I apologize.
What Hasan seems to have respect for is a YouTuber's right to opt out of something like this.
If a content creator makes a fucking YouTube video and they're not happy with me like
6 months, chat,
watching, then I fucking won't watch it. Personally, I don't care, but if other YouTubers do care, then dude, absolutely, I just won't watch it. I personally don't care. Okay, I get upset if they like use it to misrepresent it or anything like that. I personally don't care. But if others do, then dude, absolutely, I will respect that. It's not okay to, you know, play someone else's video if they don't want you to play it.
And, I mean, it is good that he has this attitude, but ultimately, the phrase bare minimum does spring to mind. Like, yeah, him saying this is better than the alternative, but the alternative would be him going, I don't care how the creator feels, I get to take whoever's content I want, and then doing an evil laugh. Saying sorry and promising not to play my videos on his streams anymore, you know, that's cool, but then he does go ahead and follow it up with stuff like this.
You get yelled at for pausing and talking too much, then you get yelled at for not reacting hard enough. What are you supposed to do now? I mean, what the fuck do you mean? I'm literally going to do exactly what I've been doing. which is whatever the fuck I want to do, bitch. What are you talking about?
You couldn't really ask for a more explicit declaration that he's not going to change the way he does things. I am perfectly happy to be in the situation where Hasan's not going to do this to one of my videos again. But I'm not really here to talk about me, I'm here to talk about generally the wider issue of React content. And nothing about that has been changed by this apology. Hasan even says that he's used to creators getting annoyed at him for this, and that this is just the standard apology that he issues out whenever that happens.
But some content creators get upset about it, and when they do, I'm like, I'm really sorry, and I will never do this again. And it's as simple as that.
It could be argued that the reason he's happy to just make the same mistake over and over again is that it's more convenient for him to just apologize whenever he's called out than it would be for him to actually stop doing the thing he's apologizing for. He's apologized for upsetting me, but I was never really upset. I just think that what he's doing is piss. What he's not apologized for is what he's doing, which is the actual thing that I took issue with in the first place, and is something that he spends most of his stream arguing in favor of. A lot of the arguments he makes are the arguments we've handily already covered in this video. Like,
I mean, this is like not that relevant, to be honest. Yeah, I walk away while this video is going on because I'm fucking, what do you call it? I'm cooking and I'm eating. And they didn't like my react. They were like, react harder. Their criticism, even if it's like react harder, is that might be a bullshit criticism, but like, they're correct if they're like, I don't want you to react to my videos.
And we've already been over the whole react harder thing, we don't need to go over it again. Hasan also seems to subscribe to the streamers need to do this because they're live for however many hours a day argument. He likes this one a lot, actually.
It's normal to walk away when you're fucking live for 10 hours, you know what I mean? I like Hasan a lot, but it definitely puzzles me how zero content like this became so well received. I don't know. Maybe because I'm live for fucking 8 hours. You could leave a sign saying gone for a dump back in 5, or could just give credit where it's due and actually react while he's in the room. Doesn't seem like a lot to ask. These motherfuckers are like, dude, pee in a bottle, dude. It just feels like Hasan wanted to not be streaming anymore, but didn't want to lose those stream dollars, like outside of the camera being on him. How is it any different than him just watching a YouTube video off stream? It just rubs me the wrong way. Like, how do you think of your viewers to just stream your break? Dude, what am I supposed to do? Die? Like, I don't understand.
Hasan reacts to someone's suggestion that he could just put up a BRB screen or something by conflating that with them asking him to pee in a bottle at his desk. Yeah, those things are the same. The attitude that he needs to do this or he just can't have breaks is weird and flat out incorrect, but again, we've already covered it. He also makes the free clout argument, but he adds something to it that we've not seen before.
Most YouTubers don't mind that, actually love that shit when Twitch streamers react to their videos because they get a fucking fat bump.
We still have the free clout argument, but now it's also packaged with the idea that most YouTubers support and like this kind of thing happening.
Most other content creators on YouTube and all around don't give a shit if you watch their videos or they like it. They literally like it. They want you to watch their videos.
Please record your answer and send it to me. Would you be okay with it if a streamer played one of your videos in full on their stream without saying much or really adding anything?
No.
Fuck no.
No, I would not.
Yes.
No. Well, I mean, I could kind of do with it. Are they willing to pay?
No, I don't think I would be okay with the streamer playing one of my videos in its entirety without even really adding to it.
If they give me a shout out and try to send people my way, then sure, but otherwise, no.
No. Oddly enough, I think I would be okay with it, but I also feel I'd have my limits.
No, other than very specific exceptions.
No.
Yes. Because if people didn't do stupid short-sighted things like that, then we'd have nothing to talk about. And this whole repetitive cycle of drama on YouTube would grind to a halt and I'd have to fill the rest of my days with anything else, like work.
Probably yes, if they were to credit me.
If it was a much larger streamer than me and the way that they showed it would possibly result in a bunch of their fans coming to my channel and becoming fans of mine, maybe I wouldn't have a problem with it. But just on sort of like a principle level, I guess I'd feel very offended that they just show my video and not provide any extra commentary or any extra substance to it.
So yeah, I asked a load of YouTubers if they would be okay with it, and most of them said no. I chose these YouTubers literally at random from people I already had DMs with. We've got a good selection of different styles, different topics, different channel sizes, and yeah, a lot of no's in there. And the majority of yeses had caveats and conditions.
If they give me a shout out and try to send people my way, then sure.
Which again, just goes to show the importance of mutual respect when doing this kind kind of thing. The thing that interests me though is the discrepancy between what Hasan was saying and what we're seeing here. So what's the difference? I don't believe for a second that Hasan was lying, so what gives?
They want you to watch their videos. And I have many examples of this, of like content creators who I am friends with, like Andrew from Channel 5, who reach out to me to inform me that their new video is out so that we can react to it. He's like, I can't wait to see you and Chess reaction to this new video that we put out.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly why that discrepancy is there. Hasan appears to be conflating the kind of reaction content I'm not okay with the kind of reaction content I absolutely support. Like a lot of the commenters we brought up earlier, Hasan doesn't seem to have drawn a line between reaction content that adds something and reaction content that really doesn't. Hasan has provided reactions that meet all of the standards I've outlined in this video. They're the kind of reaction that I actively encourage people to make and that I'm sure most creators would be absolutely thrilled to receive from a big Twitch streamer. It appears though that as far as Hasan is concerned, both these types of reaction are just reaction content to him, and he's painting it all with the same brush. This conflation is first demonstrated when, in response to me saying, please give credit and contribute something, he says, oh, this person doesn't want me reacting to their content.
If you don't want me watching your stuff, I will gladly never watch it. I'm really sorry. I apologize. I will never watch their stuff ever again, for the record. React harder is, that might be a bullshit criticism, but like, they're correct if they're like, I don't want you to react to my videos.
Which is kind of a weird response to a comment in which I actively tell him I'm fine with him reacting to my content.
Hasan, if you see this, I'm happy for you to react to my videos.
But it would fully explain why he made these comments if he's conflating those two types of reaction. And of course, it does make sense for him to think that way. If he has dismissed the criticism as just react harder, why would he draw a line between reaction content that does and doesn't adhere to a criticism that he doesn't view as valid? So when he says,
most YouTubers don't mind that, actually love that shit when Twitch streamers react to their videos.
He's talking about just Twitch reactions in general, which, yeah, most YouTubers do appreciate. I appreciate that. I really like it when that kind of thing happens to me. But what Hasan seems to not understand is that most YouTubers do have a line where they're no longer okay with the reaction content. This line is going to be in a different place for different creators. Most YouTubers like to receive reactions, but far fewer are comfortable with being used as filler as the streamer has some downtime. This is a distinction that it's vital to understand and respect if you're going to be doing regular reaction content on stream. Speaking of the free clout argument, Hasan also expands on it in a way we've not seen before.
That's the reason why sponsors pay money to Twitch streamers to like play their video games, for example. There's a reason for that. It's because they want as many eyeballs as possible on it, and then people will go and fucking, find it on their own.
Hasan seems to love bringing up video games whenever he wants to bolster a position like this one. Basically, the whole video game industry not only tolerates but actively supports YouTubers and streamers playing their games. Hasan likes to use this fact to demonstrate that there's actually a mutually beneficial relationship between a copyright holder and a streamer streaming their copyrighted content. Now, this actually is a great way to demonstrate the level of publicity that a streamer can provide, but it does ignore the reasons that video games are one of the only forms of media this applies to. Basically, I've recently played through both classic Star Wars Battlefront games. If I decided to stream both those games in their entirety to my audience, even without commentary, none of my audience would have actually played those games just by watching my stream. Anyone who, when watching the stream, had thought, oh, that game looks really fun, and developed an interest in actually playing it, would then have to go and buy the game to do that. I've also recently watched the entirety of Smiling Friends, which is a show, not a game. If I'd streamed the entirety of that to my audience, then anyone who'd watched the stream thought, hey, this show looks really funny, and then developed an interest in watching it, would have already seen it, because I just showed it to them. Now, that's not to say they won't watch a potential season 2 if and when that comes out, or maybe go in pursuit of some episodes that they didn't manage to catch on my stream. Maybe they'll even go and buy some Smiling Friends merch, because from this interaction, Smiling Friends has gained a fan and all the benefits that come with that. But the companies that own TV shows and films tend to be a lot less positive about this kind of thing than the companies that own video games do. I could just as easily argue that the strangleholds these companies keep on preventing people from uploading their copyrighted content is proof that this kind of interaction actually hurts people, but the fact of the matter is that none of these mediums are directly equivalent to one another. Video games are a medium that get all of the benefits of this kind of interaction with basically none of the drawbacks. There's a reason it's different from medium to medium. Those were definitely the main arguments he relied upon during his stream, but he also said some other stuff that I found interesting, so let's take a brief look at that as well. One short part of the stream that interests me in particular is the part where he talks about why he thinks he doesn't need permission to do this kind of thing. thing.
So it's not okay to play someone's video if they don't want you to. Doesn't that mean you need to ask permission every time you watch someone else's content, which seems pretty lame? No, I don't do that. That's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I did say it was short. Another clip I find interesting is one where he's talking about the fact that he left the room for a while.
I throw up the YouTube video on my phone, and I'm watching it. I'm simulcasting it on my phone as it is playing on the stream. And if there's a moment that I want to chime in with something, I will literally run back and put the fucking take there. It's the same as like me sitting there and not saying anything.
I agree. It's exactly like he was sitting there and not saying anything. I'm starting to think he doesn't understand the issue that people take with this kind of thing. I guess though that logically this means he does understand that when he's just sitting there not saying anything, which is something he spends a lot of time doing, he may as well just not be in the room. And finally, I know you're curious about it, let's have a look at that clip.
Just show their channel name, dumbass.
This happens when someone in chat tells Hasan that he needs to just show the channel name.
Show their fucking channel name, dude. It's not a big deal. No shit, dumbass. What kind of a fucking baboon are you?
Hasan gets mad at this because of how much he agrees with it.
Like, do you think I disagree with that? Why do you... Oh, God, I fucking despise these dipshits, dude.
Well, no, he's getting big mad because he thinks this is really obvious.
I swear to fucking God. Like... Just such a fucking dingus, dude. Just show their channel name, dumbass. How is that so fucking hard? Like, what is this attitude that you have? You stupid fuck. Yeah, I know, I agree. What kind of like you make it seem like I purposely was like fucking hiding it or something. It was literally on my screen for like a fucking hour, you idiot.
So, in my opinion, like a fucking hour, you idiot, is a strange way to phrase 18 seconds. Yeah, that's how long my channel name was on screen during Hasan's original stream. The rest of the time, no, I'm not sure how he could possibly think it was there. Like, how can you be that unfamiliar with your own setup? Him thinking this doesn't make any sense at all. Unless, maybe when he says their channel name was on my screen for like an hour, he's referring to the second stream that he did. I mean, there it is. And there it is again. Not for an hour, but for long enough where saying it was up there for an hour is like a reasonable level of hyperbole. If that is what he means though, then he's referring to something that he only did because I called him out. Meaning this would be another instance of, well, if they complain, I'll do what I should have done in the first place, but otherwise I'll just play their videos without showing their channel name. And since callouts seem to be what it takes to get streamers to do what they should have been doing the whole time, this is me doing a call out. Man, I can't wait to see how this video goes down. It's sure gonna be interesting. But that's all from me today. If you've enjoyed this video, good.